Yeah, in this video I'll be talking about JavaScript number methods. Okay. Before I do this, I want to explain a few things. I want to do one or two things. One of the things I want to do, I want to create a display and give it a background here in our browser where where our results will be displaying. Once we are making changes, you will be seeing the effect on the browser. Just want to style an element, and I'll use header one element, which is hash1. So I will start by creating HTML structure. Then inside this sorry about that. Then inside this HTML structure, I will say hash one. Then I will now give it I'll give it, first of all, I'll give it an ID. Let me give it hash1. Okay, then I will now style it. Let me put a test, so I will be seeing the effect. Let me say done. Let me come back. Then let me refresh so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, then I will now say style. Inside the style, I will now give it value of what I want. I just want to give it color, background, and then center it, increase it font size. These four things what I want to do. First of all, start with let me start with background color. Let me set it to let me set the background color to black. Let me set it to black. Background color to black. Okay, you will not see the text because the text itself is black by default. So I will give another property. Let me give it let me change the text color. Let me give it a aqua color. Let me give it aqua. I think this color is make more sense. Then I'll put semicolon here, and then I will now say font size. I'll say font size. I'll give the font size. Let me say 4em. Okay. Then having done this for me, I will now give it another property and value. I will say property and value. Let me give it let me push this text to center. I think it will make sense. Let me say text align center, so the text can move to center. Okay, this is where our output will be displaying. But let me increase this font size so it will be a little bit bigger. Let me say 5em. Let me see the size. How about 6em? I think it makes sense. This is a kind of our screen for displaying the output. Let me make it more beautiful. Let me just add it. Let me say border. I'm not supposed to be wasting time on it, but let me just do it anyway. Let me say border. Let me give it a border. Let me say one. Let me say. Let me say 2em. This 2em. Then I will now say insert. I'll use insert. Let me see how it will look like. Insert. Oh, no, it's too much. 2em is too much. 2em is too much. The size is too much. Let me see, how about 1em? It looks nice, but let me make it 0.3. Yeah, I think this one looks. How about, I think outset will make more so that this shade will come to the bottom. Let me say outset. I think it's a little bit nice now. Then let me give it a color. Let me just say, let me give it a golden color. Let me say golden node. Let me see how it will look. I think this one makes sense. So just ignore this thing. I just create this thing so it will look so interactive and very understandable. This is a kind of a screen that I created in your browser. Inside this place is where our output will be displaying. Okay. But the border. Let me reduce the border size to 0.1 em. About 0.2. Yeah, I think it's a little bit. Let me make it 0.1. It makes sense this way. Let's leave it this way. So the next thing I'll be doing here is I'm done with all I have to do. Okay, actually, if you don't want to do all this, you can just skip it and just jump into JavaScript. I just connect your ID. The reason why I do this just to make it looks a little bit beautiful and somehow presentable. Okay, that's why I add all this background to it. So the next thing I'll be doing is to just shift this screen by the side so I can. Then I forgot to add one thing. I was supposed to add the script elements before the body closing and and tag. So that script element will link inside it. I will now link my JavaScript external file. Okay, so I will now link my JavaScript external file. So I'm done with what I'm doing with this script. So I will now reduce the screen. So inside this index.js, okay, we start by we start with the number dot is integer method. Okay, number dot is integer method. Okay, what that thing does is, let's just create a variable and then we illustrate it from there. Okay, let's say something like let me say var a let me set it equal to var a. Then to use the method, we set it equal to, let me say and before I proceed, let me link this screen that I created. Let me link it, this header one, this is the header one. Let me link it to my document.getElementById. So whatever we'll be doing, it will be updating in the in the browser. You'll be seeing the output. Document.getElements, yeah, get elements by id, then the id name inside the quote, which is hash1, then dot inner inner html, then set it equal to the variable that we created, which is a. Okay, so it's saying it's undefined because I've not added any value here. You can see how the output is displaying here. Okay, so back to our variable. So inside this variable now, to use that method, number dot is integer. Okay, what this method actually does, just to confirm whether the value inside its parameter is a number, or as in is an integer or not. Okay, so to do that, we say number in block letter, say number dot is integer. Yeah, you can see the prompt is integer, then open a parenthesis, then pass in your value. Let me say something like 2. Let me say 2. You can see it's true. That's what this number method does. Number dot is integer method does. You can see that 2 is a number. Okay, how about 3? How about 5.3? It's still a no, sorry, not, we are not talking about, no, we're talking about integer. Sorry, integer. So this is a float, it will say false. But if it's an integer is a number that does not have point, say something like 1 point or 5 points or 0 point, there will be no point. That is an integer. Okay, so if you put anything like 4 points, it says a false. Let me say 4.9, it says a false because it sees this 4.9 is a float, not an integer. Okay, then what if we put something like we put a string, let's say string of, let's say hello inside. Let me just say hello. It's already saying, telling us false already, because it sees this as a string, and because this is not an integer. But once we put a number here, which is an integer, to say is a true. Okay, that is it for number dot is integer method. So the next one I want to talk about is another one called let me create this. Is another one called is now. This is not a number. Okay, it also returns true or false, but this is not. What it does is that if it's kind of saying, let me write the code first, then I will now explain. Let's say the name is none. Yeah, look at it. Then you now open a parameter or parenthesis, then you now put your value, let's say 21. Okay, you can see now, you can see it's saying false. This NaN, what it simply means, not a number. Okay, so the method name is kind of asking a question. Is this value here not a number? The answer is false because it's a number. Okay, just kind of using not statement and not operator, something like that. If you watched our not operator, which is represented with this apostrophe, that's what it simply means, not. Okay, so if you surprise something like anything that is not a number here, like say integer, it will say true because it is not a number. Let's put integer and see. Let's say hello. You can say it will say true now because it's not a number. It's not a number, true. But once you put a number, it will tell you it's true. Is false. Okay, you can say it's false now. Okay. Having said that, the next one I want to talk about is, let me clear this one. This one I want to talk about is pass int. Okay. Pass int. To do that, we say pass. Yeah, where is it? Pass int. Look at it down here. Pass int. Then open the parameter. Okay. Okay. So what this one does it is that it receives string and then convert, especially a string that has a number. It will receive the string and then convert it to an integer. Okay, let's take for instance, let's say this and put 3 inside. You can see it will now convert it. It will not pass it to int. It will not convert this string to an integer. But what if we put something like hello here? What will happen? So you say not a number. Okay, so it only accepts number. If you like something like, let me try something. Let's say hello, let me say hello hello 4, hello 4. Okay, it's combined with letters. I think it's combined with a string letter, not a number. So but if we leave it at say 2 now, this is a 2 string, but it passes it and convert it to a normal integer. Okay, so the next one I will talking about is pass float. Let me clear this. Pass floats. Pass float. Yeah, here is the pass float. Then let's open a parenthesis for it. Okay, it's the same thing with pass int. It takes string kind of string float number and then convert it to float number. Okay, let's say this is our string inside this parameter. Let's say 3.4. This is a string. This is a float inside a string. So what this pass float does, it just converts. It takes this string and then remove the string and convert it to float dialect. You can see now. Okay, that's what it does. You can actually say something like put random term. You can just say something like that to anything, just point anything, but not, it must be number. Okay, it will just take it and then convert it to float. Okay, float number. Okay, so having said this one, the next one going to talk about is to fix, to fixed. Okay, I think I get that. I think I get that correct. I think Emmet will help us. To fixed, to fix. Let me type it first. To fix. Let me see whether I can see it. Supposed to start with uppercase F. To fixed. Lowercase. To fixed. I think it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be at the back of string. I think so. I think that's what it should be. It's supposed to, after it will receive parameter of value, then dot the name of the method first. Okay, so I think, let me try. That's what it's supposed to be, if I'm not forgetting. So what it will be now, let me say 12. Let me say 12 points. Let's say 12, or let me say something like 8 points. 1 2 3 4. Then I'll come outside the parameter and now say dots. Okay, yeah, look at it here. I'm correct. So to fixed, look at it. So what this thing does, it select the kind of a decimal point. If you give it a value, it will output the value with a decimal point you put in its parameter. For instance, let's put a parameter here. Then let's give it a value of, let's say, let's start from 1. You see 8.1. You see 8.1 here. Okay, this thing that I put, it might be a little bit confusing. Let me put a random tag. Let me say something like this might make sense. Random number. Okay, so let me reduce it small. I think 4 is okay. Okay, so inside this place now, let me create and put 1 here. You can see why is it giving me okay, it's like it's approximating it. I don't need that. I don't want it to do that. Let me leave it at let me make this one 0. Okay, yeah, because I think it's approximating it. About 0.5. Oh, it's approximating it. I don't want approximation, I just want illustration. Let me put 3 here, and then yeah, I think it's okay this way. I don't want approximation, I just want to illustrate it straight away. Okay, now you can see now I put 1 here, and then the output is now 8.7. You can see that. Then if I do something like if I put 2 in this parameter, to fix parameter, it will now give me 2 dots, 2 decimal places. Okay, how about 3? It will give me 3 decimal places now. Then if I say 4, it will give me 4 decimal places. Okay, so if I put 5, 5 is now have up to 5. It will just keep adding 0. If I put 6, it think it will add another 0. It will keep on adding 0. Okay, since once there is nothing left, it will keep on adding decimals of 0 0 0 0. Okay, so that's how this to fixed work. It comes after when you create a parameter, then put your dots, then before you now write the method, which is to fixed, and inside this place is where you'll be giving the passing the value of the arguments that the method will follow. Okay, so having said this, now let me clean it and talk about another one. Another one I'll be talking about is to exponential. Let me clean this and write it. And that to exponential also work the same way with this to fixed. Okay, you first of all create your parameter. Not yeah, you first of all create your parameter. Let's give it a value. Let's say something like 22 points. Let me use the random words. Let me say 5. Okay, I don't want to use 5, so it will not approximate. Let me say 2 4 2 3. This is a random word, random um decimal value points, decimal values. So what I will now do in this place, I will now say dot to exponential. Here is it to exponential. Okay, then inside this place now, the same thing we did in to fixed, we also do here. Let's pass in a value of, let's say 1. Let's start with 1. You can see now, you can see what it does. This is 2 zeros, this is 2 zero, and why is this thing giving me, wait, let me come, let me see something now. If I say 2 now, how about 3? How about 22 points? Okay. Okay, I think let me start with 1 again. Let me create and start. Let me refresh. Okay. Then let me start with 1. Okay. So what this one does is that if you say 1 now, what it will do is it will go to this place. It will start the decimal from the main integer. After the first one, it will start saying 0.1 0.1 value, like you can see now 2.2. It enters, it goes across to the next this place, and I say 2.2. You can see that. Then this plus 1, let me put 2 before let me just put 2, so this thing will be well understood. Okay, you can see this one now, it add another value now. Okay, let me say that one, this one now. Okay, this one now just start the decimal point from between these two, which is somewhere here now. Okay, if you say 2 and if you add two value to it, okay, it will now it will not add another value, which it will ignore this point here and add this value, this 2 here, to this one. What if we add 3? It will add 4. It will add 4. It will just ignore this point. It will just put that point immediately after the first value, and then every other thing will be coming to the back. So let me add let me make it 4. If I put 4 now, you can see it's now 2.2, which is 2242, which is this 2. This 2 now is now the 22. Then this is the 4 2. This 4 and 2 is now 4 2. Then let me replace this one with 5. It will now bring the 3 here. You can see that it will bring the 3. Okay, this is how to do this is how to use to exponential methods. Okay, so the next one I'll be talking about I think, am I forgetting anyone? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think there's no other one again. There really no any other one. Okay, so having said that, I think I've come to, let me replace this. think I've come to the end of the video. Okay, so a quick recap on what I said. The first one I say is a number dot integer. Okay, that one helps you to that one helps you to return the type, whether the number you passed inside its parameter is truly a number or not. Okay, then the next one I talked about is none, okay, which is not a number. That this method works like a not operator when the value is true. If the value is true, by default it will give you false. If it's false, then it will give you true. That's what that is none does. Then the next one I talked about is pass int. The pass int, okay, that pass int, what it does is that it accepts a string value and then gives you a integer output. The next one is pass float. The pass float accepts integer, not int, a string float, and then give you a float number. Okay, then the next one I talk about is to fix. To fix just kind of it accepts its parameter. First of all, to write it is still almost the same thing with this one. The way I did it this way, to fix, you first of all create a kind of a parenthesis, or like you can call a bracket, put your pass in your value, then you now write to fixed. When you like to fix, if you pass your value, it will give decimal points based on the value you put to the parameter of that method, which is to fixed. Then likewise, the last one that I the next one that I talk about, which is to exponential. Okay, that one also does the same thing. Then the next one, yeah, I think I have remembered now. The next one I forgot was, let me think, is string something. Let me clear this. And I think to string, there's one that converts an integer or a float to an int. I think that should be, let me say, and it first of all accept its parameter. Let me pass in value. Let me say something like 2 dots. Let me find that name. Yeah, look at it here, to string. Yeah, I think I forgot it. Yeah, to string. Then it also have its own parameter. Okay, it will just pass this thing. Let me say it will just pass it to, it will just automatically convert it to an a string. Okay, that's what this thing does. Because see, and the way you are seeing this thing now, okay, let me do something now. So for instance, now this is a number, it have converted to string. The reason why you will not see the double quotes here as a string is that this is a number, it will not give you that double quote, but the system is seeing this number here as a string, not as an integer. It's seeing this number here as an int. So that's what this one does. This one does not accept any parameter, does not accept any value in its parameter. It accepts there might be a way it might accept, depend on what you want to do, but for this thing that I'm illustrating now, converting number to an integer, it does not accept any parameter in its own parenthesis. You can see that. So the first value you put in here, it will now convert it to a string. That's what to string method does. Okay, I think this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.